when you write copy of get 10% versus you write copy of get mystery offer, unsurprisingly, mystery offer outperforms on pretty much every single one. We actually just ran a test of the luxury home brand and went from about 12% opt-in to 18% for email, and then similar for SNS. So showing here's a mystery offer will outperform a smaller discount.
You're listening to the Keep Optimizing podcast to increase your traffic, improve your conversion rates, and grow your profits.
Hello and welcome. I'm Chloe Thomas, the host of this e-commerce marketing focused podcast. If you're not familiar with the Keep Optimizing format, well, every 5 episodes we switch our focus to a different marketing method. It could be email, it could be SEO, it could be Facebook ads, and we pick up the thread from the last time we covered it. And each episode, new one released every Wednesday, I interview a different expert to explore the latest advice on making it work for you. At the moment, we are picking up the email and SMS marketing thread again. And we haven't done, confession time, we haven't done an episode dedicated to email list growth since 2022. Shocking. Huge apologies to all of you for that. I have definitely dropped the ball. We are fixing that today with a dive into what a successful email pop-up strategy looks like in 2025. We're looking at that with someone who has a very hot piece of e-commerce tech at the moment, a piece of Popups, surprisingly enough, e-commerce tech. He is going to be sharing with us why you should be running A/B split tests on your pop-ups and the key things to be testing. This episode is kind of like your hit list for what to test to improve your email sign-up rates. There's some stuff that surprised me. There's some very cool stuff coming up. So you're gonna get a lot out of this one if you're looking to improve your email marketing results. Do make sure you listen right to the end of the episode, because at the end of the interview, my guests will be sharing their quick-fire insider tips to help you maximize the performance of your email even more. And then I will be sharing my take on it all and outlining some other ways we can help you improve your email marketing. So stay tuned to the end. Have you yet downloaded the 500 Top Tips to Make Your E-Commerce Business More Profitable ebook? Packed with 500 top tips about how to make your e-commerce store more profitable. I've organised the whole thing into sections so you can dip in and dip out and take inspiration as and when you need to. This ebook exists to be there on your desktop or even printed and sat on your desk. Download your free copy right now at keepopt.com/ebook. Get this epic e-commerce ebook now at keepopt.com/ebook. In this episode, I'm chatting with email and SMS marketing expert Shaan Arora. Shaan is the founder at Shopify app Arora, where he and his team are on a mission to make a better pop-up experience. Hello, Shaan.
Hey, Chloe, thank you for the introduction. And thank you for taking the time to have me on today.
Great to have you here. I love a chat about pop-ups and email sign-up rates because it's not talked about enough. But first off, how did you end up in the world of email and SMS marketing?
How this all started was my mom was actually running a retail brand where she was selling clothes in person where I'm from in Boston, Massachusetts. And after a year or so, she decided that she wanted to move a part of the business online, as you know, every business that starts in retail tends to do. And at this time, I was about 18, and I thought that I could be a good resource for her and help her move her business online. So we did that. And as I was moving business online, I learned about Shopify and eCommerce and all of the intricate parts of it. And as everyone knows, there's infinite intricate parts of e-commerce and Shopify. I thought the pop-up was really interesting. The user's first interaction with the site. It's pretty much never given any attention by brands, which I think is interesting because if you can increase the amount of people that join your newsletter, you can, in theory, increase the amount of revenue your brand brings in and potentially double the amount of revenue your newsletter has if you can double your subscribers. And sorry, by newsletter, I mean email welcome flow, all that good stuff. But it was pretty low-hanging fruit. I thought nobody was really doing anything about this in the space from a tech perspective and really innovating upon it. And that's how, Alia, the initial idea for Alia was created was pop-ups exist. They're often ignored. If they're not ignored, brands make more money. What software can I create a better pop-up experience that the brands can serve up to their customers?
It is kind of mad how often businesses don't put any effort into improving their email sign-up rates when, as we know in retail, a customer usually takes a fair bit of persuasion before the point when they're ready to buy. And the email sign-up and the post-email sign-up welcome campaign is the perfect chance to educate someone and get them ready to be able to buy your product and to buy it well and to buy again and to do lay all that great groundwork. So I always finds me quite befuddled when people aren't able to, say, yes, this is our sign-up rate, we're working on it, this is what we're doing, and so forth. So I totally get where you're coming from there. So you're on this mission to do a better pop-up experience. What was the problem with what most people were doing then and are doing now that we need to change? Is it simply that we're ignoring them, or is it that we're taking the wrong strategic approach, or something else?
Yeah, I think at a meta level, it's that oftentimes, and of course we're kind of painting with a broad stroke here, that oftentimes it is ignored, right? At like a meta level, that's the issue. Now, in the more like granular levels, there's different parts of that. Like brands are often not running offer testing. They're not changing the graphics. They're not changing around copy to see what's going to resonate the best with their customers, right? And those are the more intricate pieces, which I'm happy to dive into as well, but at a high level, right? It's like they're being ignored. And then there's these intricate parts that by making small tweaks on them and, general guidance that we give to our brands and our agency partners is don't just change everything at once, because you won't know what levers that you've pulled that are genuinely making a difference. And so let's test A/B offer testing, A/B graphic testing, A/B copy testing, and we'll get a good view of these are the levers that we've pulled. Now let's pull this lever even harder and go deeper into that to then discover, the extra alpha that can be generated from that.
So it is that kind of general we set and forget mentality of we've put it in place, it'll be all right, it's doing something, rather than optimizing it like we would any ad or any other, or we should be doing any other part of the business. What I find interesting with your list there is you said offer tests, graphics, and the copy, which is all kind of like the visuals and what causes the human being to make their decision, rather than the intricacies of when it deploys or where it deploys, which I think is something people often get quite focused in on is, are we doing it on click? Are we doing it on exit? Are we doing it on page 3? So in your experience, is it more about what we say in the pop-up than the mechanics of when the pop-up appears?
Yeah, it's a good question, right? And that is definitely something that should be tested as well. But in general, the guidance is that sometime between 0 to 10 seconds is the optimal time to show a pop-up on page load, right? So page loads between 0 to 10 seconds of page load, you show the pop-up. In general, that's best practices. And, you can test all those ranges if you'd like, but if you're in that range, you're probably okay. Whereas the other things need to get much more intricate, because there's already a range there. Whereas when you're testing graphics, there's not a range. When you're testing offer, there might be a range, but it's like a lot larger range. Copy, there's pretty much no range either. It's like those things you really need to test because there's no like set, range of exactly what's going to outperform.
Thank you so much for that, Shaan, because I think one of the big challenges when we're starting to test things is working out what to test first. And it can be so easy to go down a rabbit hole of something that's giving you small improvements when someone like you could turn around and go, why are you playing around with whether it's, 3 seconds or 5 seconds? You'll get such a bigger impact by changing your graphic, most likely. Go and work on the important stuff. So I love that. So the modern approach, the proper approach these days to pop-ups is literally, dare I say it, a traditional optimization, test, measure, A/B testing scenario. It's not put some crazy AI in it. It's not use this whole new format that somebody came up with. It is a let's actually commit to improving the performance by pulling the levers we've got about the messaging and how we present that to the customer.
Yeah, I agree with that, right? And AI is coming to this in every part of the e-commerce stack, with the Popups too. Like there's AI coming where AI can automatically run tests for you. So that will be coming to the pop-up category. For now, right? It's like, look at the best practices and then run tests using those best practices, right? And I think one other best practice that we've seen work super well is don't put the email field as the first part of the pop-up, right? So oftentimes you can write like get 15% off, enter your email. I'd say a lot of pop-ups are set up. However, it's absolutely better to instead say you've got 15% off. Do you want to claim this? Yes or no? Or it's like claim 15% off, yes or no. You can even do, here's 15% off. Are you shopping for men, women, children? Right? You can add that as a question. So by asking a question, whether it's a yes or no question or whether it's a more zero-party data focused question, you actually get higher opt-in rates because folks micro commit to it. The idea that I've already taken one action, I might as well put in my email, I might as well put in SMS, right? Because you've already taken one action. So the idea of micro commitment is really interesting. And across the board, honestly, at this point, we've seen it outperforms an email text field.
So literally make it hard. We're talking about making it harder, more clicks for the user. So they get the pop-up, they see it, they get a button to click or a choice to click, a yes, no, a men, women, children, whatever you choose to put at that point. And then on the next kind of page of the pop-up, then they enter their email address. So a multi-stage pop-up is outperforming a one hit and you're done pop-up.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen that across the board. And try nowadays.
And if we're talking multi-stage, we've got to mention, I've got to ask the question, which I hear a lot, which is, and where do you ask for the mobile number?
Yeah.
So are you a fan of asking for email and mobile number at the same time, of asking for them on different kind of pages of the pop-up, or of completely separating them? What's your view on best practice? Obviously, everybody, we have to go and test this, but what's your view on best practice, Shaan?
Yeah, I mean, overwhelmingly, asking for them on separate pages outperforms, right? And whether that be you ask for email upfront and then you wait a few days and you ask for SMS, that's a strategy some folks employ. The drop-off actually isn't that grand from email to SMS though, typically between, let's say, 2 to 3%, right? So it will oftentimes make more sense for a brand to do, do you want 15% off? Let's say it's in the flow, right? Do you want 15% off? Was the first screen. Yes. And then ask for email on one page, email continue, then SMS continue, here's the report. So separate onto different pages. A few brands employ the strategy of asking for SMS first and email second. Totally fine. It's up to you. If your brand is a really SMS focused brand, for sure, get SMS first, right? Because the benefit is if the brand gets a customer's email, but I don't get your SMS, I can still send an email. But if you love SMS and you get SMS, but you don't get email, you can still send an SMS campaign.
If it's only a 2% drop off between the two, then it makes total sense. You'd ask for the one that's most important to your marketing strategy when you first. So,
and sorry, it's not like a 2%. It's like 2% on an absolute basis. So it's like 14 to 12%. Like, just to be clear there.
Got you. Thank you. I love clarity and stats. So thank you very much for that, Shaan. Appreciate it. So loving that breakdown of the multi-stage and the best ways of doing that. Then you talked when we were talking, you mentioned there a couple of times 15% off. And I don't want anyone to fall into the trap of going, oh, Shaan said we have to do 15% off. We better do 15% off. Because you also mentioned offer tests as being one of the first things to test. So any tips on what is the best thing to test, a percentage discount versus a financial amount, like 15% or $5? Is it different percentages? Is it a percentage versus a free gift versus a free delivery? What's the stuff you see being the best things to test?
Yeah, it's a great question. And my answer here is, with whatever discount you want to give out, you can still make a pop-up work. So you want to give out 5% off, right? You can make it work as a brand. If you want to give out 10%, make that work. If you want to give out a free gift, you want to give out $5, you want to give out free shipping, all of those can work, right? In terms of getting a bunch of opt-ins, there's brands who we work with that give out 10%, right? When you write copy of get 10% versus you write copy of get mystery offer, unsurprisingly, mystery offer outperforms on pretty much every single one. We actually just ran a test of the luxury home brand and went from about 12% opt-in to 18% for email, and then I think it was similar for SNS, right? So unsurprisingly, showing here's a mystery offer will outperform a smaller discount. By smaller, I mean 10%, 15% at times, or 5%. Now, if you're offering 25 to 30%, that might outperform mystery offer, simply because it's a pretty massive offer, and obviously mysteries, no one knows what it is, so it could be great, it could be horrible. So yeah, I'd say whatever offer you're comfortable with doing is what you should do, and you can play around with the copy so that you are not destroying your margin and you're still getting great opt-ins. We've seen brands who had a 20% get 20% off coupon. They changed it to 10% and saw outperformance because of the copy that was used. Even let's say you do get 20% off and the other copy you're testing is get 25% off, you might actually see no delta. Those results might come out the same. What that tells you is you might as well save that 5% margin and do the 20% off, right? I think brands sometimes are I have to give a huge discount in order to have a huge opt-in rate, which is totally understandable, but honestly just not true, because you could be careful with your margin and crush with opt-ins by adjusting the copy properly.
I suppose that's the big win from doing the testing, like you're saying we should be doing, and like we obviously should be doing, is you can make so much of a bigger impact on your opt-in rate by getting the graphics, the copy, the structure of the pop-up right, over and above what you get from going from 20 to 25%. And the cost of doing that testing is so much less than the 5% you'd be giving away.
Yeah, it's so true.
If anyone is yet to be convinced they should be testing their pop-ups, it's all about the margin, everyone. It's all about the margin. And of course, I love that tip about the mystery offer or the mystery discount outperforming the lower numbers, because of course, if you're still getting the sign up, then you can lower. Obviously, you need to see your conversion rates off the welcome campaign and all the rest of it. You could play around with saving more margin at that point if that's delivering for you too. So we're stumbling there into copy improvements. Once we've got our offer right, would the next thing you do be to test more about the copy or to go after the graphics that we're displaying?
Yeah, I think copy and offer honestly kind of go hand in hand here. As I mentioned, the mystery offer, right? That goes hand in hand with what offer you're actually giving out. So I think those two go hand in hand. So let's say though, you've tried a 15% off versus the 20% off, and you've seen 15% off actually gives you the same results. So you choose 15% off. Now you can try out claim 15% off versus you've got 15% off versus here's, right? We can try all those different variations of it. Claim your 15% off coupon, all that type of stuff you can try out, right? So that's good. Those two as a tandem are the two most important parts to test. Then there's a step, and it's graphics for sure. By adjusting those two, you'll get most of the way there. Then it's graphics and it's timing.
So when it comes to graphics, is it worth testing graphic versus no graphic? Or is that just a crazy idea and we should definitely be having something graphical in our pop-ups?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good question. You can test not having a graphic and see how it performs. The one caveat here is there's some brands, let's say high fashion brands that are and other brands in general, right? Care a lot about their brand aesthetic. So if you care a ton about your brand aesthetic, then you should be ensuring that your pop-up is matching your brand aesthetic. Whereas if you are not super focused on brand aesthetic and you care more about let's say performance, then your graphic, you can get crazier with the testing, right? Whereas if you can just stay in line with the aesthetic that the brand has, you can't get too crazy. So there's that piece of it, and that's not really a decision or anything that I try to like make for my brands, because if brands love their aesthetic and I don't want to like mess about too much with that, then that's totally cool. But if you're okay with changing, maybe trying out like, I don't know, different color schemes, different items replacing, there's definitely room there.
Got you. So keep it on brand, but it's definitely worth trying a few different graphics to see what can have an impact.
Yeah, for sure. Like, let's say you want to try out, if you're a CPG brand, you want to try out like one image of the protein bar versus another image, versus one color of it, another color, another SKU. Those are things to test.
Got you. And then once we've kind of tweaked all of that, optimized it all to get our highest possible, that's when we start playing around with the timing of when it deploys and how it deploys and those kind of elements.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you could you could go crazy with testing things forever, right? Like, there's no shortage of tests you can run. And that's to say some brands want to do that, and some brands get to, let's say, like double digits, like 10 plus, 10 plus, and they're just, okay, I'm happy. That's totally reasonable as well. So yeah, I'd say you can either continue testing, try out other copy, try out other graphics, try out other timing. But if you're satisfied and you're consistently getting double digits plus, like, maybe you focus on other stuff in the tech stack,
There's always something else to be focusing on. So I
Yeah.
like that. Shaan, I feel like you've given us a hugely brilliant to-do list to fast track us towards really improving our pop-up and our email sign-up rates. Anything we've missed? There may not be anything we've missed, but anything else we should have told the audience about before we go into the insider tips round?
Yeah, I'd love to hone in on the idea of asking a zero-party data question to kick things off in the pop-up. If you go to, let's say, this one brand called NikeStrength.com, you'll see they actually ask, what are you shopping for today? And then they had options of what things you could be shopping for. The great thing about that is Nike gets data for what folks are shopping here for. And they actually saw an improved opt-in rate when they showed that question versus when they showed, do you want 10% off or 15% off? Right. So interestingly enough, by asking a question that's relevant to your customer base, not only do you capture better zero-party data, but you also capture a higher opt-in rate. So that's something that we recommend that our brands test out, because, you get the benefit of both.
I'm so glad I asked if there was anything else, because that's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, Shaan, it's been great picking your brains about email pop-ups and email list growth. Listeners, remember to stay tuned right to the end so you don't miss out on Shaan's insider tips on email and my suggestions for more free resources to help you improve things even further in your businesses. Have you yet downloaded the 500 Top Tips to Make Your E-commerce Business More Profitable ebook? Packed with 500 top tips about how to make your e-commerce store more profitable. I've organised the whole thing into sections so you can dip in and dip out and take inspiration as and when you need to. This ebook exists to be there on your desktop or even printed and sat on your desk. Download your free copy right now at keepopt.com/ebook. Get this epic e-commerce ebook now at keepopt.com/ebook. Okay, Shaan, so far we've gone deep into email pop-ups and list growth. Now you get to wow us with your insider knowledge about the whole of email and SMS marketing. So for the following questions, your answer can be anything to do with email and SMS marketing, which of course includes all the brilliant stuff we've already been talking about. Shaan, are you ready for the insider tips?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's start with newbie advice. If we've inspired someone to take their first step, what do they need to know to give themselves the best chance of success?
I'll probably stick on the pop-up seed for this one and say, run one test. Just start with one test. Try mystery copy versus your current offer and see what happens.
Love it. Keep it simple, everybody. Just do something. And Shaan told you exactly what to do, so go and do it. Now, once you've started, of course, you've got to keep optimizing. So what's your favorite way to improve performance?
Again, honestly, I will just say mystery copy is my favorite way to improve performance.
Yeah, I'm properly taking that one away from this. That's right up there for me.
Yes.
Love it. If someone listening wants to learn more, is there one cheap or free resource you would recommend?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I post a good amount of tips about this, and I go kind of more granular in some case studies, both on my Twitter, which is I am Shaan Arora, and then on my LinkedIn, which is just my name, Shaan Arora. So feel free to follow me on either of those, and I kind of give more granular advice for pop-up stuff.
Brilliant. There you go. So when you run out of ideas of things to test, that is definitely when you want to make sure you're getting those alerts on either Twitter or LinkedIn. Great, thank you. I find it really hard to find good examples of pop-ups and how people are optimizing them. So I too will be putting alert to all on my LinkedIn updates for you in the very near future. Finally, it's crystal ball time. What's coming up in the next 6 to 12 months that we should be getting ready for?
Yeah, I mean, how AI is going to impact every part of the tech stack, especially in email marketing and SMS. And my advice would be when Klaviyo is releasing Klaviyo AI, which they have PostScript releases PostScript AI, when every single company releases, their company with the name AI after it, try it out. I know it's kind of like a fad, and some people are kind of done with hearing the word AI, but it is going to revolutionize businesses in every way possible. Even ours, we're probably going to be doing AI optimized A/B tests where 24/7 for every single brand, AI is running tests to figure out what is the best pop-up for them. So AI is going to be part of every single business going forward. And if a business that you work with, if a tech company you work with releases an AI product, give it a try, because it honestly could be pretty cool.
Yeah, completely. I think it's the point at which AI is going to become super, super powerful in e-commerce, is where it's integrated into the tech we're already using. And it feels like 2025 is going to be the year when a huge amount gets released in that way. So I love that crystal ball. Thank you, Shaan. We are very nearly at the end of the show, though. So please, if anyone's going, I need to test my pop-ups now, where can they find you and your business so they can do it properly and really well?
Yeah, sure. Feel free to just go on our website, alialearn.com, ALIMALEARN.com. And yeah, if you want to chat about pop-ups, want to try it out for your brand, we have free trials. So book a demo with me and we can have a chat.
Easy as that, everybody. Shaan, thank you so much for being on the Keep Optimizing podcast. It's been an absolute treat getting to chat about email sign-up. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for the time. It was a pleasure. And really enjoyed the conversation too.
Well, what a great way to end our drought of really focused in on email list growth episodes. If you listen to that or go through the look at your notes, look at our notes, or go through the transcript, that is a full 12-month pop-up testing plan right there for you. So for me, the key things I took away was, one, that mystery offer or mystery discount copy instead of saying the percentage to increase uptake. Loved that. The multi-page piece. So a click followed maybe a zero-party question, followed by grab the email, grab the SMS, or rotate those if you want more SMS than you want email. Don't care about when it deploys. Just deploy it in the first 10 seconds and then go and worry about the more important stuff, which is those offer tests, the graphics, the copy. And first and foremost, the offer has to work for you margin-wise. There you go, everybody. Really loved that. And basically just go and actually test this. From what Shaan's seen and what he's saying, you can quite quickly increase those pop-up rates, which increases the number of people in your email list and your SMS list, which therefore increases the people who go on to buy from you with just running a few tests. And these are pretty simple, straightforward tests to be running too. Okay. Before I repeat the whole episode, you can get the links to the things we discussed, the full transcript of the episode, our notes, and more at keepoptimizing.com. You can also use our special direct episode short links. Just put keepopt.com/the number of this episode into the URL bar, and you'll be redirected straight to the right episode page. When you get to the website, don't forget to add yourself to our email list so you don't miss out on any of the things I share to help you improve your business. And please don't judge me on my pop-ups, because whilst I really want to optimize our pop-ups, I have other more important things to be working on at the moment, but it will happen at some point this year. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Keep Optimizing podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, then why not check out episode 94? Yes, way back a while, where I chatted with Laura Reich about using Pinterest to grow your email list, because it's a different take on email list growth, and one which, if you're hot on that at the moment and you've just listened to this episode, so presumably you are, I think you will really like. You can also find our full thread of email and SMS marketing content by scrolling up your feed to see what we've just been releasing, or use the short link keepopt.com/email that will take you straight to the page on our website where we list all these episodes, going all the way back to 2020. You can also, and I would love you to do this, tell your fellow marketers about the Keep Optimizing podcast, because we create it to help you guys to improve the performance of your e-commerce marketing. And this episode, anyone who's trying to improve their email results, this is the stuff they need to be doing. Have a great week, and make sure you listen to the next episode so I can continue to help you to keep optimizing your marketing.
Access everything Keep Optimizing at keepoptimizing.com. That's with an S, not a Z.
Have you yet downloaded the 500 Top Tips to Make Your E-commerce Business More Profitable ebook? Packed with 500 top tips about how to make your e-commerce store more profitable. I've organised the whole thing into sections so you can dip in and dip out and take inspiration as and when you need to. This ebook exists to be there on your desktop, or even printed and sat on your desk. Download your free copy right now at keepopt.com/ebook. Get this epic e-commerce ebook now at keepopt.com/ebook.